And to take us through this section, we will be looking at crafting your brand identity. And to take us through this section is Mr. Believe Iboyi. Mr. Believe, are you on the call already, sir? Just want to be sure. Okay, so Mr. Samuel, you can actually stop sharing your screen now. Mr. Iboyi, are you on the call yet?
Yes, I'm on the call.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, everyone, this is Mr. Believe Iboyi. Let me quickly run through who Mr. Believe Iboyi is. So Believe Iboyi is an educator and enterprise strategist. He's a certified business development service provider, certified enterprise management professional. I Believe, as he is fondly called, is the chief enterprise officer of Edfrica NG, Edfrica NG Mastermind Limited, a strategy development company that specializes in training management, enterprise strategy development. Is the founder of MB's Deals. Okay, is the founder of MB's Deals Partners Limited, a merger and acquisition company that focuses on the buying and selling of profitable small and medium-scale businesses. Everyone, once again, can we welcome Mr. Believe Iboyi as he takes us through the second section. Mr. Believe, you're welcome. The floor is yours now. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Edfrica, for this opportunity. Like you know, my session this evening, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible. Can.
Okay. Okay, let's shoot. Okay. So my name is Believe Iboyi. Like Mr. Samuel has said, I'm an educator and an enterprise strategist. And I think I've been doing this close to a decade. We've been around for a while, and I've done a lot of collaborations with Emmanuel Dumosi and the team. So it's a pleasure to be back again for this session. So briefly, I'll be walking you through crafting your brand strategy. Now, the actual topic is actually crafting your brand identity, but I changed this to mean crafting your brand strategy. So why are we looking at brand strategy? Is because I feel that I want everyone to understand the concept of brand and branding, and as well as the elements that you need to consider when trying to create a brand strategy. So that meaning that brand identity is an element of brand strategy development. And as someone that has been involved in strategy development for a couple of organizations, I just feel it is better we look at it from a strategy point of view instead of just the identity point of view. And that's why I've recoined the topic to mean crafting your brand strategy. So by definition, we first need to understand that every entrepreneur needs to learn and build a business. So how do you build a business? For me, I feel it's two things. You need to create a compelling brand that customer wants to buy from. You need to create a compelling brand that staff want to work in. Now, most of us here are solopreneurs. So I was talking about that we need to understand the concept of brand and branding and the elements to consider while creating a brand strategy, because brand identity is an element of brand strategy. So we've come to see that every entrepreneur needs to learn how to build a business. And how do you build a business? You build a business by creating a compelling brand that customers want to buy from, and a compelling brand that people want to work in. Now, I know that many of us are solopreneurs, 1-man, 2-man business, 3-man team, but we all aspire to scale our businesses. And if we truly want to scale our businesses, we must come to that point where we must build a brand that can actually outlive us, a company, a brand that can actually outlive us. So what is a brand? A brand is an accumulation of emotional and functional associations. So every one of us have different associations, different emotional attachments to different brands, right? Why? Because these brands have a promise that the product will perform a particular task when you use them. And that is the expectation all of us are having right now. Okay, if I use brand A or brand B, I will have so thing. And that is why you begin to see that a lot of brands are beginning to now conceptualize on focusing on telling you how best you can live your life, how you will look when you buy their product, and all of those things. And see, in every industry or ecosystem, there is always one brand trying to outshine the other. And that's why you see that diagram of how Access Bank was able to swallow up Diamond Bank. Now, these are powerful brands. So at that level, you can see that powerful brands, no matter how big you are, if you are not careful, another brand can actually swallow you up. Now, I understand this because I run another business that is focused on buying of businesses. And I see the kind of things that you have actually bought over the years, or what you have actually helped to sell over the years. And I just see that it's people who are not really ready to build brands that can actually outlive themselves. So as individuals, we must see that we are building a brand that can outlive us, that people want to buy from, that you have staffs who are ready and willing to work in our businesses. So what are the different elements of a brand that we must consider? 1, your brand name. 2, the brand identity itself. 3, your brand positioning. And then your brand communication. So I didn't really do much about brand communication. I focus more on brand name, brand identity, and brand positioning for this short 45 minutes session. Okay, so as a business, what is the brand you are trying to build? What is that brand that you are trying to build? Your brand, as you all know, is a short name that can be a variation of your business, of your registered business name, right? And this is the craziest thing I've seen. Thank God the first person that spoke just now talked about CSO registration and all of those things. It's so ridiculous that people create logos and do all of those nice, beautiful things without a name that has been officially registered. I don't understand why people do this. I don't get it, but if you are one of them, please repent and go and register your business name. At least you can do a business registration at your level. Then when you start making more money, you can go and upgrade your business name. So understand that your registered business name can be your brand name. And at times it can be you can create another brand name from your business name. And whichever one you do, if you create another brand name from your business name, in a case where your business name is not the same with your company name, when your business name is not the same with your brand name, you are advised to go and trademark that name, right? So that helps you to own the name. So I'm going to show you some examples of companies that the brands have become trademarked and you can't even use it again because they will sue you if you dare do that. So trademarking a brand name is something that people should consider as you begin to grow as an organization. So a registered trademark, now, this is very key. This is what I'm saying this. A registered trademark accounts for your intellectual property assets, and this adds up to your business valuation. Why? Because I understand business valuation very well, and we do a lot of business valuation. Now, we sold a person's business for less than 1.2 million naira after 10 years of work. As in, you have run a business for 10 good years. And when we are doing your valuation, the business was worth practically nothing. Do you understand? So how will your business value even increase? 1, your brand name. Is it trademarked? Is it registered? There are so many things to consider, but these issues are in another dimension of conversation. But for today, let's talk about general issues that has to do with how you can create a good brand name for yourself. So what are the features you should consider when trying to create a brand name? A good brand name must be unique and distinct to you, easy to pronounce, easy to memorize. And then you have to be very careful that the brand name does not have a bad meaning in another language. So it could mean a particular word in Yoruba might mean an insult to somebody in the north, or it could mean something insulting to somebody else in the east. So when you're creating brand names, you have to be very, very careful not to create names that are offensive to people. Okay, and then no matter the brand you are creating, make sure it is registered. In a case where you are just, if your business name is not registered, register it. And at times you can take it a step further and register the brand name that you are having. Okay, so let me give you an example. Now, names like Mangi, Milo, Nescafe. Now, these are brand names, right? So there is nobody that want to go and create a food spice and name it Mangi. They will sue you, be sued, because the name Mangi is trademarked, the name Milo is trademarked, the name Nescafe is trademarked. But note, these three brand names I just mentioned, or product names I just mentioned, are products of Nestle Nigeria PLC. Now, if you go to the second example on the screen, see Unilever Nigeria PLC, you are looking at Knorr, you're looking at LinkedIn, you're looking at Pepsodent. You can't use this name. These are not just words. They are being trademarked. So you can't use them anyhow, at all. You can't go and say it is a no. No, it is another company already has it trademarked, and then you are liable if you go use it for your own name. So that is how powerful brand names could be. So that means you can only have a company name and have a product name that is not the company name. Hope that is clear. If you are with me, please let me see some emojis, some comments on the comment section, so that I know that I'm not just talking to myself. Please, I want you to write something on the comment section. I want to have this to be conversational. Okay, so what is the perception? What kind of perception do you have with your brand names? Okay, so let's start the perception. There are two types of perception. We have the buyer perception and the seller's perception. The buyer's perception is the person buys from you. That is a consumer. To a consumer or a customer, a brand means quality item worth buying. 2, a brand means a promise of an experience or a satisfaction to be derived from that particular product or service you are rendering. But to you, who is a seller, you perceive your brand as your means of identification, right? You perceive your brand, I repeat what, as a means of identification, and there's something you can use to compete in the market. But note, that is not how your customer is perceiving your brand. Your customer is perceiving your brand as something that is of quality, something that can give them an experience. So in other words, consumers buy brands, but companies make products. Hope that is clear. Consumers buy brands, but what? Companies make products. So why many of us are focused on the product itself, product development, product integration, product this, we forget to create a brand, a quality item that can give an experience to a particular consumer so they can have a better experience using that product or services you are creating. So remember, consumers buy brands, companies create products. So we are all of us as business owners, what do we create? We create products. But that most times, our consumers do not buy the products we create. They buy the emotion that they associate with the product. And that is a brand that you are buying. So what is brand number 2? So I'm done with brand name. I'm trying to rush the session. So let's now look at brand identity. What is brand identity? Your brand identity is a process of creating a unique means of identification, association, or recognition in the minds of a target audience. So all of you now attach a particular experience to Edfrica, right? Everyone in this room is now attaching what? A particular experience to what? To Edfrica. That Edfrica becomes a brand. So that is like when you meet your crush, when you meet a beautiful girl right now, or as a lady, you meet a very handsome looking man right now. How do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel excited about meeting that person, or is it just another conversation entirely? So the impression that you have when you meet your crush, a fine lady or an handsome guy, is the same emotion that you associate with any brand that you are buying from, that you are used to buying from. That's why some people are addicted to certain products. not because there are no alternative products, but because they've been able to, over the years, attach those kind of emotions to the product they are buying. Okay? Okay, so how do you now create a brand entity? So let's note, if you have a brand and you do not document the principles of that brand, the practice of that brand, the process and the policies that surround that brand, so that it can be duplicated, you have a problem. This means that your brand vision, culture, positioning, personality, and relationship of the brand must be documented. This is the only way you can have the brand to be consistent and predictable. It's not that manager A comes in, he has a different perspective about the brand. Manager B comes in, no. Or you give your logo to a customer graphic designer A to create. It creates something extremely different, and then no, these things don't work that way. That's going to stick to brand, and then so that is why we are now saying that your brand identity is a function of what? It's a function of your trade colors, your logos, your color schemes, your topography, even meaning the font of the font of your of your text, your taglines, the name, the symbol, all of these things are what we refer to as a brand identity. And if you look critically, you will notice that out of these 5 brands on the screen, Google, Tesla, Airbnb, Amazon, IKEA, all of these brands, all of us have different level of association, different emotional association to these brands. And we also have to learn to deal with it from that area, that type of association that we have with these brands. Okay, so what is your association with the brands on the screen? I would have loved a conversation, but our time is fast spent. Okay, but let's just jump on. Let's jump on. Okay, so overall, all of these brands you see on the screen and the brand you are trying to build, your brand must give what? Functional emotional association. Else, it is not a brand. Okay, so what are the benefits of a good brand, of a strong brand? 1, KLT. KLT means K, know, L, like, T, trust. If you want to build your know, like, trust factor as a business owner, it boils down to your brand. Even the kind of song, I have a client that does a brand song for businesses. So now if I do, everybody will shout, Milo. Now, that is a brand song. That is a particular branding that they've given to that product, Milo. And different brands, the songs they sing, even a lot of people have, a lot of these big organizations have been able to create these things for themselves. Now, what we notice is that the bigger brands create these identities for themselves, while the smaller brands don't care, which it kind of understandable because it's assumed that many of them do not have the financial resources to be able to create a proper brand identity for themselves, right? But so if you're able to create a good brand identity for yourself, 1, it will help you to, people will know you more for that brand, people will like you, people will trust you, and I can bet you, once you are able to crack the code of your KLT, your business will scale because you have more customers buying from you and all of that. Then obviously you're going to stand out and gain recognition. And then once this KLT is out, is solid, you are standing out and you are gaining recognition, obviously you must have increased revenue. And then more revenue means that you have more people liking what you do. So so your brand identity in summary is the design, the logo, the color, and other emblems that you use to be able to represent the brand name identity that you are doing. So when you're not talking about branding, branding is now the process of creating your identity. So, and there are a lot of guys. So most times, graphic designers don't create brands. Please understand that clearly. Graphic designers don't create brands. They create logos. But if you want a brand person, someone that understand branding to create a brand system for you, then you need to explain your vision, your mission, your goals, and everything. And then it becomes easier for that person who is a brand strategist to not use your vision, your goals, your market, everything to not create something for you that is unique to you and unique to you alone, right? So that is where, so note, graphic designers don't create brands. They can help you design your logos and all of those things, but they do create brands. They do create brands, okay? So let's talk about branding now, brand positioning, excuse me. Let's talk about brand positioning. Brand positioning is the art of designing the company's offering and then an image to occupy a distinct place in the mind of the target market. How do you want people to see you? Do you want to be a market leader who is trusted? Do you have a specific audience you are reaching out to? Now, the era where many people want to sell different things to different people, to everybody, doesn't work. You cannot sell your product to everybody. So if you are that person that believes that you want to sell your product to everybody, you are even in the wrong, you are doing wrongly. So your brand positioning system or statement or positioning statement is, let's use that of Nike, for instance. Nike wants to give confidence that provides a perfect shoe for every sport. So Nike is not responsible for providing shoes for your corporate wears. They're not responsible for providing shoes for party or any of those things. They are responsible for providing shoes that are for sport. And if you look at all the Nike brands, they are focused on different types of sports with different types of shoes. And that is branding. That is brand positioning. You need to be able to create products specific to a particular audience, and that is brand positioning. So, for instance, my brand positioning when I'm writing or trying to communicate with people, I'll just tell you, I create strategies that transform organizations. It's as simple as that. So my focus as a person is to create strategies. And this, I can create the same strategy for a real estate company, for a maritime company, for an education company, for a school, an educational sector, for fashion. I'm creating strategies. So the focus is strategy development, not just anything at all, but focusing on strategy. And that is brand positioning. We are building a company that is focused on being able to provide strategy for different sectors across board. So I'm not doing several other things that other people are doing. I'm not doing finance. I'm not doing finance, right? I am not doing finance. Go and meet those that do finance. If you're looking for finance, this thing. So, but in the course of we creating strategy for organization, it is possible for us to come across companies that require finance. So all I need to do is reach out to any partner that I've created along the line. Okay, hey, Shama, we have this client who needs finance. Please come and handle the finance. This is our objective. This is the strategy we are trying to create. Use your finance knowledge to give us something that can align with our organizational strategy. Do you understand? It's easier that way. And I've come to realize that the more strategy that the more focused your business is, the better it is for you to scale any day, anytime. So, and that is where you have to be very, very intentional about the kind of brand you are trying to build. So the rule is just like somebody, you can't discuss brand identity, brand strategy, and not focus on sales, marketing, and all of this, because at the end of the day, this is what will help your business to scale or not to scale. You don't just, so when you are building this brand identity, it has to focus on a particular market or a particular target audience, a particular demography. You understand? So that is what makes the whole thing very, very interesting. That's what makes it interesting. Okay. Questions? You can start dropping your question on the comment section while I round up. Okay. Let's go on. So when you are trying to position your brand, you can position your brand based on product, based on price, based on quality, based on competition, based on use. So how are you trying to position your brand? Are you positioning as a company that has the best quality? We are a quality-based brand positioning, because when we talk about creating strategies, it's quality. It's not product. It's not price. We are not telling you that somebody will tell you we give the best prices. That is a positioning statement. And one thing I will warn you is that in your brand identity, never allow pricing. Don't set your competitive audience. You cover all the English now. Don't set your competitive advantage on price, because somebody else can be crazier than you who will sell lower than you. So if, for instance, you are a shoemaker and you feel that your shoes are cheap, somebody else will come to the market and sell that same shoe for maybe 10 times less than what you are selling. What do? Will you keep competing on price? So never try to compete on price. And that is how you're able to build a very powerful brand. Okay, like I said earlier on, I removed the part of the brand communication because the session is quite short and I didn't want to bore you with too many information. So if there are any questions, please let me take the questions now, and then we are good to go. So thank you very much. I look forward to taking questions now.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. Mr. Believe, pardon me, Mr. Believe Iboye. What a very insightful section. Please, if you have questions, can you indicate in the chat box, or you can make use of your mic to get clarification. Can we do that in the next 10 minutes, please? If you have questions, please can we use either the chat box or our mics? Any question from anyone? Still waiting on us, please.
Thank you very much for the session so far. There's no question from my end. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Does any other person have question for us? Do you have one or two things you want to get clarification on? Or do we say we all have we all understand what was said? Okay, please go on, Wendy. Please go on with your question.
Good evening, everyone. So currently, I'm trying to create a brand for my tailoring business. So for now, I've registered my business name, and I've gotten to do the logo and everything. I see how other people have these well-established brands and everything, but I'm honestly stuck. I don't know what to do next. I'm just trying to do everything on my own, and I'm not getting the headway. I'm trying, but it's really not something that it's easy. So I don't know. What next would you suggest, sir, for me to do? Thank you.
One day, right? Okay. I do not really know what exactly where you are stuck. I don't know if it's within the, what is English now? I don't know if it's within the scope of this session for me to ask for a 45 minutes free consulting session with you. But I feel what you're probably stuck at is product development. Now, I have a formula for creating product, which is called PRISM, P-R-I-S-M. P is you create a product. So an average tailor, every tailor fashion brand, is either you are running a fashion academy and you have a production line, because I think I have a couple of clients in the fashion space who has an academy, who have production lines, who are doing ready to wear. So we need to be clear on what exactly is this brand you are trying to create. Are you trying to create a one-stop shop where you can get everything from knowledge to product to finished product on demand? So it's a whole lot of things, because the fashion ecosystem is huge. So you need to be very clear on what exactly you want to do. So if it is within the scope of this session, you can reach out to Mr. Aaron, because that's the person I've been communicating with, to share my contact with you so that I can then have a one-on-one session with you for free 45-minute session with you, and then tell you, look at what you are doing right now, and then point you in what your key activities that is next for you to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. One day, I hope you got that.
Yes, I did. I'll reach out, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Please, do we still have any other question or any other clarification from any of us? Okay, while we await any other question or clarification, I would like Mr. Bilibiboyi, the same thing as Mr. Samuel. Please, do you have assignments you would love to give to our people so that they can at least just to test their knowledge of what you've gone through today?
Okay, I was supposed to share that earlier, but okay,
Okay.
so the assignment I would love to give would be for everyone. Okay, now, for instance, I said that my own positioning statement is I create strategies that transform organizations. So I want everyone to create their own positioning statement. So everywhere once you see me write, most of the articles that I write, basically on LinkedIn, if I ever have to write anything, I always end with that positioning statement. I create strategies that transform organizations. So everyone that is here, you are supposed to be business owners or executives. So what is your own positioning statement? What is your own positioning statement? I would really love that everyone here should send in their own positioning statement.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, Mr. Samuel already dropped his assignment in the chat box. Okay. Assignment in the chat
And
box.
please note that positioning statement must not be more than 7 words.
Must not be okay.
It must not be more than 7 words. So if you want to phrase it, Mr. Sam, just say, write a 7 words positioning statement of yourself. Or it could be personal, it could be for your business.
Okay. Trying to drop that in the chat box in not more than 7 words. What is your positioning statement? Personal or for your brand?
Yep.
Okay. So we have 2 questions already, 2 assignments, one from Mr. Samuel Yomi and the other from Mr. Believable. Okay, so please, okay, can we appreciate our speakers once again for today? Can we appreciate Mr. Samuel Yomi and Mr. Believable once again? They've did a really good job today. They've done justice to the 2 topics, which I personally also learned from. Can we appreciate them, please? Can we appreciate them? Thank you, Machida. I can see your hands. I can see. Thank you. Actually, it's usually Machida that is on this call. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you for Monday. Can see your hands. All right. Thank you very much. Before we'll call it a wrap today, I'd like to Mr. Manuel, I don't know from your hand, do you have 1 or 2 things you would love to say?
Yes, I am.
All right, sir. The floor is yours.
So thank you, Mr. Believe, and then also Mr. Samuel. These are my good friends, and you've been consistent over the years in making impact. So I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to you. For everyone who is on this meeting, I believe you already get in value. Please and please remember that we are focused on the practicality, the impact orientation, not just listening and not doing. So please try and implement whatever you learn. One more thing, Adewale, was there
Yes,
any
sir.
assignment from any of the facilitators? If not, we need to create assignment for them.
For this class,
Yes, for the two
yes,
session.
yes, there is. That's been dropped in the chat box already.
Okay, great. So please let's follow up on the assignment and we would respond. Last week we didn't respond to the assignment fast, but this time around this week we'll make sure the team works to make sure that we respond as soon as we can. Thank you for being here. We'll always try to keep the time 5 to 7, and for the next remaining 4 weeks. I'm sure you got value this week. Next week, we're getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. More actionable plans, more actionable activities as we go along. The videos will be shared by next tomorrow, latest by tomorrow. You should be able to see the video on YouTube to recap on your own and to learn better. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. I don't know, Mr. Abiodun, okay, do you have one or two things? Do you have a parting shot for us before we wrap it up? Okay, seems Mr. Abiodun is far away. Okay, before we wrap it up, two facilitators, let me start with Mr. Samuel. Do you have a parting shot for us before we call it a good evening?
Well, for me, I use the word, if your why is not strong enough, you're going to close shop. So let your why be strong enough to push you through your career and your business. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Edfrica.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so Mr. Believable, your parting words.
My parting words. Okay. One of the things I love telling people in business is that business is war and marketing is a battleground. And if you truly want to make it in business, don't joke with your marketing. Else, like what Mr. Sam said, you will close shop. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Okay, please, before we finally call it a good evening, everyone, just for 5 seconds, can we just, is it possible for us to turn on our cameras? Can we? Okay, so we can at least see those you're in a
Good
class
evening.
with. So that you can see yourself, so that if you eventually meet someone outside tomorrow, you know that, okay, this is the person I've been in this class with I'll be in the class with for the next 6 weeks and all that. Okay. All right, thank you very much, everyone. We really appreciate your time. So on this note, we'll be bringing this section to an end for this week. So we'll see you again next week. Please make yourself available. Just as Mr. Emmanuel said, you can go on YouTube from tomorrow to refresh yourself. So in case maybe you missed something and all that, you can go back to YouTube to rewatch and refresh yourself. So on this note, we'll see you again next week, Friday. Thank you very much. Do have a beautiful evening and enjoy your weekend. Bye, everyone.